Hello everyone, and this is Shubham. You're watching Giri. So as you have seen from the title of the video, today's video is going to be a special one and a very useful one to all the students in the coming, like whenever you're seeing this video, it will be very useful to you. As if you're seeing this video, it's very sure that you would be in the process of writing your statement of purpose, or you may call it as letter of intent, or whatsoever you call this particular document, whatsoever the university calls it. It's one and the same, and the process or the methodology which goes into writing this particular document step by step, or the correct uh, structure for the particular document is going to be shared in this video. So please stay tuned till the end so that you won't miss out any special pointers that may only be applicable to you, and you may actually get your statement of purpose a bit heightened due to those points. So without further ado, let's start the video. Everybody get your fucking hands up. Now, the first segment of any topic which someone searches is, if you know nothing about it, the first question would be, what is that particular thing? So in this case, what is an SOP? What is a letter of intent, and why do university needs it? Like, why would they even demand for it if it's of very less use or of very less concern? And why it is important? So firstly, the SOPs, statement of purpose, that is something you would be very clear, or whatever it is, just say that the statement of purpose is X in your language. So for this particular X document, the usage or the definition would be that it's a document which will describe you, which will give a human touch to your application. Now, by human touch, what I mean especially is, see, there are a lot of documents which goes into the application portal while applying for any university. Now, all those documents which you apply to the university are submitted by each and every one of the student, and it is sort of a binary system. Like, if you have the document, if you have the required marks, if you have the required CGPA or IELTS score, you are in or you are out. So that kind of evaluation is known as binary evaluation, which means either it's a yes or a no. Now, what makes the statement of purpose different from these binary things? It's not like if you have written a statement of purpose, yeah, that's enough. No, it's not enough. For me, I personally wrote my SOP in roughly 4 to 5 months, because I had a lot of time back then. So I researched and searched through a lot of resources online. I read a lot of papers, these SOPs of different students, and then I summarized it. Like, this is how I should present my SOP. Now, for those who don't know what SOP is a simple representation of yourself in a single sheet of paper in maybe around 1,000 words. That is the maximum limit. Please don't go beyond 1,000 words. What I personally suggest is, please make your SOP in one page. See, now that is totally depending upon you. If you have a lot of information to show, still please make sure you follow the 1,000 words markup line. So don't go beyond that. So this is as far as what SOP is. It's simply a representation of yourself in words in a single sheet of paper, which will be representing you in front of the admission committee. So this is what SOP is. Now, moving to the next segment, like how do I write it? How do I gather my information? If I don't have much to show, how would I write my SOP? Now, this is a very interesting question. Like, everybody has a 20 years of, like, you are 21 years or 20 years old when you are writing your SOP, so maybe 22. So you have that 22 years of life, and I think it's very much of a content to write. Now, how should you describe it? That is what I'm gonna tell you. You need to very first understand the things that admission committee wants in a SOP, or what does SOP actually embraces. So firstly, it's your degrees and the academic achievements. That is for sure. That cannot be excluded. But is it the only thing? No. Then your extracurricular, co-curricular, sports, anything that you can think of, anything that you have even if you have a single certificate of it. See, nobody is gonna ask you if you have a certificate or not. But what they want to see is your judgment criteria, like whether you should be including that particular certificate in it or not. Let's just say you are applying for a master's degree, and you have basic, I would say, average GPA and all, and then you have included a whole 2 paragraphs of your sports segment. Is that of any interest to them? Probably, but mostly no. So please make sure to include relevancy. The content which you show should be relevant by directly or indirectly to your degree. Now this is very vague, but let me just give you a very simple example. Now, everybody has done some sort of sports or any sort of extracurricular activities during their school days or college days. Now, every extracurricular or co-curricular activities has few good skills which you need to perform in them, such as teamwork, I would say, leadership, any such sort of qualities which is demonstrated by that particular co-curricular activity. You should include that, not the activity. By the means of activity, you need to include the particular section of the qualities that they need to see. The admission committee is always interested in the qualities, not actual game itself. So if someone says you to include your I would say the extracurriculars and co-curriculars, that means they want you to include your qualities from that particular co-curricular or extracurricular activity. So now this is a very simple step to fine tune your content. Now initially, let me just start by saying that you need to have roughly, I would say, 10 pages of content to reduce it to 1. So let's just keep the ratio between 10:1. So 10 pages converts to 1 pages. Now for those 10 pages, you need a research of maybe a notebook. So you don't need to write everything down, but yeah, you need to connect the dots. You need to write slowly and gradually. You need to take a week or maybe at least 5 days to just think of all the things that you could write in a paper that could best describe you. So once that is done, start sorting it out into 2 pages, 4 pages, 6 pages, and then once your final draft is ready, just read it once and keep it. Just don't upload it yet. Just don't upload your first draft or maybe second or fourth draft after reading it once and uploading that onto the portal. Just don't do that. Read it and keep it. Let your mind do the work. Let your subconscious do the work. And then whenever you're picking that particular section or that particular document and reading it again, what you will see is you will be finding some mistakes. Some words that shouldn't be there. It conveys the same meaning, it conveys the correct meaning, but it shouldn't be there. Instead, that should be something more appropriate. And once you do this 2 to 4 times, that's probably when your SOP starts getting spices in it. At that moment of time, your SOP starts to be interesting enough to be read by the admission committee and to be impressed by you. Now, finally, once you have your draft and everything, still just don't upload it yet. Now, what you need to do is you need to do some paraphrasing. Like, I give this example, like I have given this example to a lot of students, maybe like 10, 50, I think it's beyond 50. That is a very lot of, that is quite a good number for me, I would say. So, once you have your draft ready, what you need to do is do paraphrasing. Let's just say, if you have done your bachelor's, let's just say for mechanical, so mechanical always has a huge number of students in the class. Let's just say 80 or maybe 70, 75. I think that would be a minimum average guess. in one class. So assuming it's 75, or let's just go for a round figure, 70. So top 10% of 70 is 7 people. So if you are anything, like if you're in these 7 people, write it as I have been in top 10% of my class, instead of writing I was on rank 6th or 7th. Now, if you're not, no need to be worrying. But instead, what you should write, you should convert that particular number into a leverage amount of percentage, into a percentage where you could boast about yourself. Let's just say, if you have scored overall, your percentage CGPA is something around 50%. Let's just say 50% in the sense you are in somewhere mediocre range in the class. So that is not something you should be so showing off in your SOP. In fact, I didn't even write my marks in my SOP. So that was a very huge decision. But what I did was, I vaguely see, they have your whole profile. They have your mark sheets, transcripts, everything. So that's why I always feel like, why should I give them the things that they already have? So I don't write my marks in my SOP. In first SOP I did, then I sorted out and read a lot of paper, lot of material about it, and then finally I get rid of it. So yeah, I didn't even include that particular thing. So how would you make it interesting then? Now assume there are, I would say, 40 to 50 subjects, 45 subjects in your whole engineering career, or whatsoever discipline you have taught. There are a lot of subjects. There may be one single subject in which you would be around top 5 top. Not one, maybe more than one. It should be 4 or 5 subjects. That is a minimum. So you would be around top 10% of the class in that particular subject. Or there would be some, even if you are not, there will be some subjects which you in which you have scored double A grade, which will be the highest grade in your whole CGPA. So just mention those. Like, I have been a good student, I have scored consistently like this in particular this sections. So go section wise, go subject wise, and see if that subject is particularly implied to the masters which you are applying or not. So this is how you mix masala into your SOP, and that is what is really important, because they want to see your lexical resources. See, don't make your SOP very complex using very heavy words such as flabbergasted, or I would say impecunious, or I don't know, such sort of words. So don't use those words, but instead be precise, be consistent, be very good with the flow, and make your whole SOP a story. You have to be formal. See, where SOP stands, it's not formal or informal. It's somewhere along the between. So where you need to balance out your formal as well as so for the places, for the things which you are including in your SOP, some of them would be like very much formal, like if you are including your research work experience, or maybe some internship that you did, or maybe your work ex. So that is a formal particular thing. So you need to be formal in those things, in those areas. But if it's something about co-curricular, extracurricular activities, you need to go in a story mode. You need to be somewhat informal to describe that, so that the person reading your document would be very much intrigued by you. So I think that's pretty much it. There is a lot I could talk about on this topic. See, I can help you. I think I can help you with this SOP process, since I am having a bit of time due to this COVID again and shit. And so I have a bit of time, in simple words. So if someone wants to get their SOP checked, I don't know, checked, I won't be reading everything. But yeah, if you need some pointers, maybe I would read it as well. If there are one or two, I don't know. So just message me on my Instagram handle. I would give that in link in the description, the name in the description. So hope you like it. I don't know, I would be very much vague in this video, but yeah, let's see. So see ya guys, namaste.